can't hear you. You have to speak louder.
My voice is gone. I have
My voice
cold.
is gone.
I have cold. Hey, wait a minute. This is something that's going on now?
No, not yet.
Oh, no.
Take a drink.
Well, my folks were farmers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My folks were farmers, and fortunately or unfortunately, they lived in Russian-occupied Lithuania. And out of six, I believe, members of the families.
And name your father and your mother, the names.
Wait a minute, yeah.
My mother's name.
My mother's name was Salomea Vilnis, and she came from a village of Vilnis.
Can I just
That's
correct you?
next door.
Your mother's name was not Salomea Vilniškis. Her maiden name,
Maiden name was Kadžis,
Kadžis.
Salomea Kadžis. Kadžis, Simonas Kadžis, and his wife Ona Dailidėnaitė Kadžis had how many children? I don't remember now. 7 children, I think. It was this way. Mariona was the oldest one of daughters. Then it was Kazimieras, and then was Simonas, then was
It's up there. There it is.
it was correct in here.
Yeah, on the other side. There you go.
Huh?
There, it's on that side there, I think.
Well, now, was your mother's maiden name Dailidėnas?
They
Oh, Kadžis.
no, Kadžis.
And what's
My
Dailidėnas?
grandmother's was Dailidėnas. Well, they had this very large family. Mariona, I'm not quite, or Roger was the oldest one. Then, oh, let's say it this way, Roger was the oldest one. Then Mariona Smetonienė was the second one. Kazimieras Kadžis was the third. Simonas Kadžis was fourth. My mother was fifth. And, what did I say Simonas? Yeah, Simonas. Oh yeah, Kazimieras. Ignas Kadžis was sixth. And Ona Kadžis was the seventh. Our 3 men, they first went to United States because they felt they didn't have chance of being independent since their father, Simonas Kadžis, that's my grandfather, was appointed all time and time again by Radvila. He was in that area was biggest landowner of forest. His forest started with the Black Forest in Prussia and continued into Russia. Continued into Russia.
No, you can't.
Yeah, okay. So, since my grandfather, Simonas Kadžis, was so conscientious about carrying out his duties to the letter, his sons had no chance there trying to somehow advance themselves, so they all went to the United States. Then it became known in the area that my mother was teaching Lithuanian language, reading and writing, which was forbidden in those days. So
Well, they were lords, weren't they?
no,
They were called lords, Radvila.
Radvila was a lord, yeah. So she was encouraged or almost told straight that she had to leave. So where did she go? To the United States. She came to the United States and met in Brooklyn, New York, when she was staying with her brothers, 3 brothers there. She met Simonas Vilniškis.
Oh, I met him here. You met your dad. She met your dad here.
Yeah, who escaped, or rather left Russia, not wanting to serve Russian army, which was being prepared and sent to fight Japanese in Japan. So he escaped and came to the United States.
But what year?
Huh?
What year?
To Brooklyn. That was 19. What Japanese war was it?
1912?
No, much earlier. 4th or 5th, 1905 or
1905, right.
19. He came 1904.
1904, okay.
And they met there, fell in love, and as a result, I was born August 6, 1907. And 1909, they decided they had enough money to come back to Lithuania and buy a piece of land, which they did. And we stopped first, of course, at my grandfather's, Simonas place.
Is that the first time you saw him?
That's the first time I saw him. Yeah. Then after, when I was about 7, 8, 10, I became so involved with him. I loved him terrifically because he told me a lot of stories about everything, how even including, I'm not sure now whether he knew the girl that became Peter the Great's wife later, because she came from that area, from Ukmergė. A Russian army officer took her for servant like, dishwasher or something like. When he went back to Russia or on visit or otherwise, he lost her to Peter the Great.
Yeah.
Household. Peter the Great, kitchen maids or whatever they were, they took her into their custody, that girl. And she became Peter the Great's wife.
Right.
I think that my grandfather was trying to tell me that he remembers where she came from and things like that. Yeah.
That was in the book I read, Poland. Good.
But when your father came over here, he came over with his brothers.
No, with one brother.
One brother, okay.
His brother, Jurgis.
And did Jurgis stay here, or?
Oh yeah, he stayed here. He died here. He had 2 sons and a daughter.
And they're still here?
I think they were dead in Brooklyn.
They died in Brooklyn. Did they have children?
Young, no. His daughter, Patri, was married to Heineken, Fred Heineken, but they had no children, and they took children to bring up from
foster children.
Foster children, yeah. And so I don't know about them anymore now. What happened to them when they're still alive or not?
Well, how about Kansas in Brooklyn? Who does he belong to?
Well,
He's your uncle.
yeah, but they're all dead now.
No, your aunt is not dead.
Well, the only aunt, is still surviving. She's 97 years old this year. My aunt.
And she's...
My Kajas, Ignas Kajas, that's the youngest son of Kajas' family. His wife, Anastasia, still alive. She's 97.
And she's alive here, or?
In Brooklyn. She has her own home and she lives there. She's still taking care of herself. Her daughter and son-in-law comes around.
Her daughter Frances.
Weekends. Her daughter Frances.
And her daughter's husband Tony.
Their name is Januszka.
Januszka?
Januszka.
Okay. That's not a Lithuanian name, not a Januszka.
No, Lithuanian.
Yeah, okay.
And they have
They have 4 or 5 or 6 children.
4 children.
I don't know. They're
One is Sandra.
missionaries. Sandra is living in Florida. No, in California. Yeah.
Somewhere.
Sandra. They came from Denmark. They were as missionaries there for many years.
As missionaries.
as missionaries, yeah.
Mhm.
Whatever.
And then the other three, and they were all college grads, every
Yeah.
one of them. But
Yeah.
I don't know their names now, I can't even think of their names.
Now, my grandfather, all those things that I'm talking about, my grandfather, when I used to come about 6 miles right across the woods in lakes that nobody dared to even assume that I could reach on my own.
Yeah.
I go to my grandfather, but my mother used to miss at home. She knows, she says, tai kaziukas nuėjo pas senelį.
Well,
Which
yes.
means.
That means Chuck went to his grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah. So he used to tell me about so many different things, unbelievable things. How they, as slaves, was working one day, and the young bride had her child wrapped up in
Swaddling.
yeah,
Rags,
and,
right,
at the edge of the field, and the wolf came out. They chased, but he grabbed and disappeared with the child. So my grandfather was telling me that.
And then they brought him out as a wolf.
What? Oh, no, never happened.
I think that's
Another
it.
thing,
So,
the Yiannapolis Dvaras, which means the Yiannapolis estate, closest to us, where a lot of slaves used to work there. The owners of that estate, I was told when I was going already in elementary school there, and there was one tree that was imported from somewhere out of country that had big thorns on it.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever would misbehave in the way of seeking freedom, like or something, they would force this fellow take his clothes, climb into that tree and if the owner for some reason felt like he should be taken out from the tribe, from the group, he would be shot like that in the tree. They showed me the man that was running that estate. He was very sad old man. I was very crazy young chap. I was very interested in all those things. So he told me that, and then he brought me and showed me that tree. In other words, I had seen with my own eyes the tree which was, so to say, like
Hey, Ginny,
history.
you know that you have relatives in Brooklyn still? That
oh,
are,
sure, Francis.
Oh, Francis. Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's on your
Yeah.
dad's side?
Yeah.
And you know you have other relatives who are now missionaries in California?
Well, that's her daughter, Francis' daughter.
Francis's daughter,
Oh.
Sandra.
Sandra.
This
Now begin with your schooling.
Wait a second, let me set
You
the
start your schooling.
Well, let me get the
Yeah. You didn't mention that you went back with your parents. Or did you? I don't remember.
Oh, but you think I'll be able to do it better? As I mentioned before, my parents went back to Lithuania and acquired a farm
With you?
with me. I was the only American-born of their children.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
okay.
And we came back to Lithuania and they bought the farm in naujų Levaniškių kaimas. That kaimas, or it used to be estate,
Yeah.
and that
Camas
estate
County then.
went bust, and all the properties were sold out to individual landowners, altogether 28 landowners, among which we were one. And then the next property was for sale, and so my father said, I want that too. I don't want anybody to come next door to me. So he bought that, and to not being able to pay cash for everything, he came back to the United States, 1914, and war broke out.
Leaving your mother and you behind.
Leaving us all, by then, we were 3 children, or 4 children over.
4 children at that time.
All right, name them.
Selamute,
Salameya.
Salomea, I was the oldest. She
Because
she
you
was
were-
after me, so, and then it was Alanute, Helen,
Helen.
and
Elena.
Alphonsus.
And Alphonse.
Alpha.
Alphonse. Yeah.
I only got 3 here.
I put in the fourth one. She died in 1922.
Salome,
She died
Oh,
when she was just about 10 years old, when we had flu in Europe, influenza,
Yeah,
She- 1922.
Okay.
And you came, then your father went back to the United States all by himself.
Yeah, in 1914, and war caught him, and he was among the first ones to come back to across. The war ended, and the revolution was still going on in Russia, I think. And unfortunate thing happened in Brooklyn when he was buying the steamship ticket, and they asked, what are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna change it? How are you gonna use your money now in Lithuania?
Yeah.
They say they paid there 6 marks for $1,
Mm.
something like that.
Right.
So this man, real estate, that's Ambraziu's father, who was visiting with us the other day, last year. He says, we're gonna give you 10 marks for $1.
Mm.
By then, apparently they knew already it was more than 10 being paid, but he didn't know, he knew. So he changed all American dollars into German marks, and he brought in fantastic amount of money. I went that
Oh, Jack, can I just interject here a minute? What did your father do here in the United States?
Oh, he worked in a sugar house. He was a laborer.
Mhm.
Worked in a sugar house. Then he went to Pennsylvania, Upper Pennsylvania,
Cutting timber?
timber. What do you put it? Timberjack or something?
Yeah, lumberjack.
Yeah, lumberjack. And then he came back again to Brooklyn and continued working in the sugar house, into which, like, some funny way, unexplainable way, when I came back 1931 after finishing college in
Yeah.
Lithuania and escaped.
Name the college.
It's,
Name your
now it's
schools.
called, now it's called Polytechnic Institute of Vilnis.
And your grammar school, did they have a name?
Oh, grammar school, that was that place where I was showing where the tree was. Yeah, that was grammar school. Then high school was Raguva. And
What age were you
what?
when you came to the United States?
23. Grown up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And when you were in school, it was electrical engineering. Or?
so I right away went into Brooklyn Polytechnic Institute, since they did not have a record of our school.
Mhm.
Here, it took them about, I think, 2 weeks or something to evaluate, questioning me and helping me to evaluate my course. And later on, very soon after that,
Mhm.
I asked and I received the copies of my program in Vilnis,
Right.
but I was already accepted here.
Right.
I can't remember.
Well, that was the Brooklyn Polytechnic.
Well,
Institute.
Polytechnic Institute of Brooklyn, yeah. Schermerhorn Street, as I remember it was. Yeah, and, I qualified for EE, professional engineer,
Mhm.
Masters.
electrical engineer. That would be similar to like master's degree.
Yeah.
And they, thanks or for some effort, this dean of electrical engineering, after talking so much, we became like a little bit close. He says, I would advise you matriculate
Uh-huh.
for doctors in
Engineering.
in law.
Law degree,
Yeah, but not legal law.
but
They had no right to give law degrees, but they had, as I understood, that they would, or they were already
Jurisprudence.
Jurisprudence.
Yeah, okay.
Jurisprudence, yeah. But I was very hesitant because I had no money. It says it's this way. If you will be registered, it never consummate this. It never costs you anything. But when you are already registered for it, applied for it, you will have no problem entering it later. So I think I was put down there for that future degree, but I never consummated that jurisprudence matriculation. Then, of course, being in very bad financial shape, I got the job in sugar
Well,
house.
now wait a minute before you say that. Who did you come to?
My uncle,
Yeah.
Uncle Simonas, I mean Ignas Gajas.
And you left.
And here you see, it's very scattered. If I had known this thing, I would have at least.
No, it's not scattered. You're doing fine.
I get all.
I'm telling you where to go back.
I suppose I have to.
Well, now, you're living at Kansas, but you went to work where?
In the sugar mill.
Yeah. And to get that sugar house job, which was paying me 14 cents an hour, my father's friend, Simonas Pociūnas, who was a businessman on Grand Street, had a shoe store there. He inquired, asked, and almost coaxed the man that was a superintendent at the sugar house. And he, in the name of his brother, borrowed from my good friend Simonas Pociūnas, borrowed $500 temporarily, which he never paid. And Mr. Pociūnas was good enough, old man, that he did not require me to pay back his $500, which I paid. I don't remember as much as I could then.
That's to get the job in the first place.
To get the job, 14 cents an hour,
You had to pay $500.
$500 to get that job.
To whom did you pay it?
I paid to this superintendent,
Which never went to the company, it just went in his pocket.
Alright.
Yeah, never went to the company, never went to his brother, I don't think so. Only he said, my brother bought a farm and he's short of money, so I would want to borrow from you $500. So Pociūnas figured out that if he gives you $500, then for sure I'll get a job. That's the way it was. The conditions there of people, working people, was horrible in sugar house. That was a shipping department that I got the job. And people in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, would gather in the front of sugar house, extending about block, sometimes block and a half, waiting until 7 o'clock, the foreman comes out with superintendent. It goes by entire line, spying line. People didn't realize that they would be able to remember it. But however, it was deep, and these people were working in the sugar house for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And that was the system. I began to talk to them. Why do they know ahead of time how much they're going to need people to? Why don't they tell 1 day or 2 days ahead of time that don't come for tomorrow, don't come day after tomorrow, only so there would be just about half of the people coming every morning as they need, not 4 or 5 times, because someday they would pick 15, 20, 30 people out of 300 people in line. And I was the one that got being picked every single day, because that's the foreman that would used to come out with the superintendent, and superintendent apparently put the word with the foreman that this young man should be taken every time. So people began to look at me, what's this all about? And when they come to me to talk, I began to talk to them about some kind of order in here, union. And for some reason, somebody brought my name apparently to I can't remember his name now, but by Roosevelt, he was appointed Madam Perkins's assistant. Madam Perkins was designated by Roosevelt Secretary of Labor, and he was, so when he pulled out from there, I lost all my skids. I got to be under somebody else. However, I successfully organized a union
Mm-hmm.
in Sugar House, which was called, as I remember, we called it East River Longshore. Later, they joined International Longshore, much later.
Right.
But I was injured there at the same day when I began to tell, or others already knew that union is going to be recognized, will have to be recognized. I got injured, and they assigned me to doctor, a factory's doctor, and I had to go to him every day and not to go to work. And he began to give me a hint that I should not go back, because I might get injured.
Right.
So I stopped, started thinking, and I did not go back, and it happened so circumstances with the people that I had contact established, they were 20 people in Brooklyn. I started newspaper, America.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I was editor of that paper, editor and a manager, administrator, everything, until my friend from Vilnis came back because he just finished a law degree in Vytautas Didžiojo University in Kaunas. And he came here as representative of Lithuanian youth organizations there for 3 months, I think, or so, with Dr. Lehmanas. So Dr. Lehmanas went back after they visited here, Knights of Lithuania, and Joe Lochka remained here because I offered him my job as an editor with the newspaper. He took that job as an editor, and I remained as administrator. Then I got an administrator from Boston, Daniel Sadarka, and I went out and organized Import-Export Corporation by the name Litton.
Litton?
Litton.
L-I-T?
Lithuanian American yeah.
L-I-T-U-M.
So, yeah. So, and then it happened so, through manipulations and so, that Product Sled came in with the competition, and I had already assurance received from council that my group will be, my corporation will be sole representative. So I sold out this Litton corporation to Product Sled. There was also Lithuanian citizens that organized that, and so after that, I received.
What you were doing is you had some ships. I remember a story there about you actually had some. This import corporation actually owned some ships or leased ships.
Then when I sold out this my almost personal, I had six partners.
Oh, okay.
Well, one night I called up as friends and I explained to them what I want to do. They put up $22,000 right into my lap.
Did you give the name of the ship?
No, that comes later.
Comes later.
Yeah.
So you sold out.
Then when this news came to, because I was representing Lithuanian semi-government economical organizations in Lithuania, Lietūkis, Pieno Centras, and Maistas, to import all their products,
Okay.
everything that came on this side of Atlantic. There was
Such as hams,
hams, flax,
sardines.
yeah.
There.
Is it
So I,
Very delicious. Did you know Mom then? Did you know? Mom?
no.
What do you mean you didn't know? I was on the ship with you.
Oh, that's later. I'm still here buying that shit.
Oh, you're just buying it?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it.
But you said that you went to the other 6 partners.
I paid them off. When I
you
received,
paid them off or they paid you off?
no, I paid them because I received from Product Sled
Okay.
for selling my name, my corporate name to them, to
Oh.
Product Sled. They paid me everything that I put in,
Okay. Plus enough to.
plus little additional money that was already invested. I had probably 4 or 5 tons of candy imported that was not yet, they lost on all that because by the time they discovered what they paid me for, this they were so anxious to buy me out, because otherwise I had full rights, which they had, and they had nothing. They just lied, and when they got there, they lied. They did not act honestly, and they knew that when this thing come to the surface and